If I'm being honest, for as long as I've loved video games, I've never taken a second to reflect on what they've taught me. Sure, there's the obvious lessons such as problem solving and multitasking, but when you dig below the surface, what have they really taught us? So this week, I want to talk to you guys about 5 times video games have taught us life lessons. There are so many things you can learn from The Last of Us, such as the true cost of living in a post-apocalyptic world, the length at which people will go for those they love, and just because you're surviving doesn't mean you're living. But the real lesson, in my opinion, taught in The Last of Us is that just because you're not related doesn't mean you can't be family. Joel and Ellie's relationship is that of a father and daughter. Sure, they started off being a courier and his parcel, but along the way, the two grow extremely close and develop somewhat of a symbiotic relationship. Joel fights to keep Ellie safe, teaches her how to survive in their horrific world, and ultimately chooses her prosperity above all else. While Ellie in return shows Joel that there's more to life than just living, and when his turn comes, she keeps him safe and nurses him back to health. When push comes to shove, these two would do anything for each other, and if The Last of Us has taught us anything, it's that whether you're related or not doesn't matter. What really makes a family is loving one another. The Mass Effect series is the holy grail when it comes to life lessons, some of which being the consequences of meddling with artificial intelligence, the advantages of surrounding yourself with a diverse group of people, and of course, if you make mean or badass choices in life, your face will crack and look absolutely nasty. The major through line in these being that your actions have long-standing consequences. Whether good or bad, once you make a choice, you have to deal with the repercussions. This has been very apparent throughout the entire Mass Effect series. Releasing the Knight Queen in the first game comes back to bite you in the third. The way you interact with companions like Garrus drastically affects how their actions play out, and even sometimes showing you the illusion of choice and consequence. Those who chose to elevate Udina in Mass Effect probably regret their involvement in Mass Effect 3. But in reality, that choice is made for you with Anderson stepping down. It's almost as if the entire point of the Mass Effect series was to teach gamers to take responsibility for their actions, and whether you like it or not, the smallest choices on your part can change someone's life. No Man's Sky might have had an extremely rocky launch, but those who stuck it out learned some valuable lessons, such as just because your peers don't like something doesn't mean that you can't, and the age-old, once you've hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. But there's one thing that No Man's Sky taught day one players that late adopters might not learn, and that's the fact that it's okay to be alone. When No Man's Sky launched, you didn't actually play with others no matter how much the initial marketing might have said you could. It wasn't until the next patch that Hello Games implemented true multiplayer and the ability to randomly come across other players. So for quite some time, the players of No Man's Sky were alone in a vast and ever-expanding universe. In our age of social media, where in a sense we are never truly alone, No Man's Sky gave players the opportunity to become comfortable with their own company. Whether you think that's some Reed Richards level stretching or you think I'm just making lemonade out of lemons, in reality, Hello Games inadvertently gave gamers an amazing gift that often goes overlooked. You could say that most of the late Telltale's games taught us this lesson, but my personal experience started with Lee Everett and The Walking Dead. And that lesson is the importance of empathy in everything we do. This is something that I personally think we have a ridiculous lack of in our society. Empathy is the ability to understand and share another's feelings. Throughout The Walking Dead, every action you make is followed with a prompt telling you how exactly a character felt and if they're going to remember it. You use this information to make better and more well-informed decisions throughout the game. So in a sense, empathy is a real gameplay mechanic within The Walking Dead. If you want to progress through the story or interpersonal relationships, you must empathize with others in order to do so. The importance of empathy in everyday life can't be understated. For this reason, everyone should play Telltale's The Walking Dead, not only for the amazing storytelling and characters, but also to better understand and implement empathy in their lives. Okay, so if I'm being honest, every game on this list can teach you what Fable does, but this is one of my absolute favorite game series, and I believe above all others, Fable shows you that you can be whoever you want. Whether you want to be an angel or a demon, the choice is entirely up to you. Every action you make and path you take within the universe of Fable has a specific moral outcome, but that doesn't mean you're stuck with the few bad choices you might have made. The best part of the Fable series is the idea of forgiveness. No matter how far you've gone down one path, you can always always turn things around and choose to be a different person. I've always loved playing the Fable games because they've taught me that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. You are ultimately the master of your own fate, so if you're not satisfied with who you are, you can always work toward being someone new. All 5 of these games have something in common. Each of them depict violence in one way or another, but more so, they give us the opportunity to escape our lives and learn something new. So the next time you pick up the controller and hop into your favorite game world, I'm asking you to try and dig below the surface and see what the game might be trying to teach you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like it, make sure you click the like button and share it with your friends. It would really help out me, Boneofhead, and Handsome Phantom in general. You guys can follow me outside of Handsome Phantom at Legion, and make sure to check out all of the awesome content that Handsome Phantom is producing.